Hello and welcome to Local SEO Today. I'm Roger Murphy.
And I'm John Vong.
John, thanks for joining. Our podcast is reaching and speaking directly to entrepreneurs, business owners, anyone that wants to start a business or have a business, and how to succeed. And what we're talking about is succeeding in what could be a very saturated or a competitive environment.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging for a lot of business owners to not just get into the market, but what does success really mean, right, to
Mm,
them? So a saturated market is usually a metropolitan, big urban center. So we live in Toronto, and it's probably it's the most population in all of Canada. So we understand what we see in the marketplace in terms of
mhm.
like saturation, competition, and especially if there's a lot of competition in the retail, service, hospitality industries. How
Hmm.
do you compete and get ahead of in front of your customers?
Exactly. I think Toronto is. I think we're right now we're either number three or number four in total population, largest in North America. So we know this is a competitive marketplace. But what I find fascinating, John, and again through the years that I've been helping business owners, succeed or get the advertising and the message out so they get new customers, is there is opportunity for everyone out there. And what I mean by that is no matter if it's a saturated market, if you've done your homework, you can uncover gaps. You can bring your style, your service. There's something that you can differentiate yourself, John, with competition.
Definitely. I mean, you look at hyper competitive industries like the restaurant industry or dentists. I
Yeah.
mean, there's one in every single corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Multiple restaurants that are competing for business, the customers spend for daily dining or takeout, right? So how do you stand out? What are you doing differently? How did
Yep.
you get into the market in the first place? So the first thing I want to talk about is like understanding your story, really. Like you are different. You understand that you came into the business differently than anyone else in the marketplace. So let people in on what sets you apart. Like, why did you go into business? What was your journey like? What was your story like? And what do you want out of it? So I would say talk about that in your brand message, talk about that in your About Us page, in your brochures and flyers. If you have a storefront, like let people in on why you made this business happen.
Yep. I like the term as well of your USB, unique selling, or USP, unique selling proposition. So if you are a service-based business, if you're a retailer, as you say, John, if you're a restaurateur, what is it that's different about you? What is unique? And it could be pricing, it could be quality, it could be faster turnaround time. You need to understand your own, what differentiates you from the marketplace, and then let people in on that.
Yeah, and there's so many different segments in USP, right? The value you're bringing. What is
Mm,
your service differing? Is it color, product size, service level, speed, delivery? Don't
exactly.
just look at price, right? There's manufacturers, suppliers, and supply chain. So many other factors that you have to know your competition. And the
Yep.
first thing I always tell people to do is buy product or service from your existing clients, to your existing customers, right? Competitors, sorry, to
Mhm.
really understand what they're doing and how they're going to market, right?
That's it.
And there's going to be opportunities there. Once you start collaborating those five different competitors of your major ones, then you have an idea of how you're going to set yourself apart.
Yep.
And that allows you a go to action market plan to really, make it happen, right? Because
Yep.
then you know what's going on in the marketplace and how you're going to be unique, and how
Exactly.
maybe it is a segment, a small niche. It's maybe a small community that you're after, and that's okay. Start small and then go expand afterwards.
And we have spent so much of our careers, John, in the direct response, ready to buy. I need something, so they're searching the directories, whether it's the yellow pages. Now, of course, it's Google. But our clientele that we really have worked with for so many years, which is the service-based businesses, those service trade guys and gals, typically what they do is they work for somebody else. They see gaps, and that's where the smart players, they see, huh, look how much or look how long it takes for this, my current employer, look how long it takes them to return a phone call, or look at that they don't really want to serve that area because it's too far away, or their pricing, or they don't carry enough parts on their trucks, and we're always running back and forth to our suppliers and we're not efficient with our time. These are the things that, to your point, John, of, you mentioned earlier, buying product from your competition right now to learn about them. Even as a service person, you're learning where the gaps are in the current business. And if you can see, what, I'm going to come to market, I'm going to provide this and this, which goes far beyond what's being offered today. That's where you start to carve out your segment of that business.
Exactly. And it all is dictated by customers, right? If there's
Hmm.
an opportunity, if there's a need and you're adding more value, and maybe it's a market that the old company that you're working for doesn't even want to touch because
Exactly.
they're lower tiered, right? So there's a lot of people in that lower tier that you can serve and do very well and become profitable. And
Hmm.
yes, maybe it is your entry point to get into the market. And eventually you may want a higher ticket product offering, but at least it gives you a good foundation to understand how to run a business,
Hmm.
how to really stand apart and unique selling proposition, the messaging, the marketing piece. Like getting to market and understanding gaps in the marketplace is so critical to
Yeah.
sustain your business. And having fun along the way is also something we always talk about. But this is what marketing is about. This is what business ownership is about.
Hmm.
Pivoting, understanding the gaps, listening to your customers, going to a big urban center, there's hyper competition. Everyone's competing for the same type of customers spend. And what are you doing differently? What is your strategy like? What is your messaging like? Who is
Hmm.
your target like? What is the demographics with your communities, whatever it is? You
Hmm.
have to understand. And the more you're in tune with your business and listening to your customers, the better you're gonna be able to offer up your clients with good value and a product and service they'll be wanting to come back to you for.
Exactly. And that's really what it comes down to is, and it's not, as you mentioned earlier, John, it's not all about money. It's not about price, but and I've always said this, it's about value. What are you offering? What are you bringing to that consumer? It's not that this is my price, but what comes with that price? And if I could, I'll just say with our business here at Local SEO, on a daily basis, helping our business owners, we bring more to the table than so many more of our competitors. We just do that. That's just what we wanted to do. We provide more value, and that's what every business owner, whether you're service based, whether you're a professional, a dentist, legal, manufacturer, it's so straightforward to do your homework and see where the gaps are in the marketplace, and you fill the gaps, and that is the first step in going towards attracting and growing your business.
And yes, USP, but then once you distinguish that the value prop, right? And what your go to market is, how do you attract more of it? So again, running a business is challenging. You got to always focus on that customer and fulfill, right? Whatever you're offering, your product and service, do what you're say you're going to do and over deliver, under
Mhm.
promise. Always be true to yourself. Make sure your team is in alignment with all the values that you're bringing to the table, and make sure that these customers of yours are your ideal type of clients. And that takes time to acknowledge as well, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes over the years. You're going to understand that some of these profiles that you thought you wanted to work with aren't really the type of clients that you really resonate with. And that takes time for you to acknowledge and pivot, uh, because things change, right? The type of customers, and as you mature in your business, you'll realize who you want to attract and who you want to be known as in your industry.
Hmm. And that, of course, comes with time. In the early days, you want everybody, you'll take any business because that's the way business is. But it is true over time, you learn what your expertise is, you learn what you're good at, you learn what you like to do more of, provide that value, John. And yeah, that's how your business will change and evolve based on what you enjoy doing and what's profitable and what is getting a good response from your customers out there.
And every industry changes. There's
Mhm.
always new technology. There's more, and understand the landscape of the product and service you're offering. The technology stack of every single business has transformed every industry, from
Mhm.
delivery, the speed, to engagement, to the instant response, right? Um, Understand what the expectations are in your customers, and
Mhm.
realize that, see if you can adapt to those changes, because if you are not equipped to do it, there's people that you can hire to actually do it for you, right?
Mhm.
Understand there's people that you need to sustain your business, and you can't do everything yourself. You can't imagine, understand what's going on in your space. So I think that's why, like, having a team is so important if you're running a successful business that's in alignment with all your processes, and understanding what your customers demand, and listening and making sure that you're always in tune with what's going on.
Yeah. And it's so true. And then again, it's all an evolution, but it really a saturated market should not scare anyone off. And of course, the other end of the spectrum, John, is business areas that have very little competition. Frankly, there might not be enough business over there. So that's why you might go, I do understand why saturated markets are going to be better for me. You, as a business owner, entrepreneur, have to just figure out where the gaps are in that marketplace that you feel you can do a good job at filling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like gaps, just figure it out. As a business
Yeah.
owner, that's what you're in business for, right? Trying
That's
to
it.
find opportunities, find a need in the marketplace so that you can add value in someone else's life, so that they're willing to pay for your product and service. And now
Yeah.
you have a business. So,
And I'll just say, it's fascinating that some businesses still today, John, they stop taking phone calls at 4:30 in the afternoon. So just think about that. In a saturated market, what if you answered your phone a little bit longer? What if you took calls because people shop and they need services at different times? That's what's called, being different in the marketplace. So,
exactly.
yeah. Well,
Awesome.
John,
Well,
these are some great ideas, and I know it's we get sort of passionate about this because this is what we've done for so long. But it's great talking to you, and thanks for your ideas.
thanks a lot, Roger. Very
And
insightful as well.
thank you. And we'll see everyone again at Local SEO Today.
Thank you.